Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the Unit 2 vocabulary building. But before we do that, let's take exercises in the workbook, page 88, just to refresh our memories. Exercise C here, read the letter, circle the gerund. So let's read the letter together, then we will be circling the gerund. Dear editor, I'm writing because I have a concern about our community and our environment. I have been living in this town for 3 years now. I love living here because most people are interested in protecting the environment. However, I have noticed that when I go shopping, most people have been using the plastic bags that the store provides. I quit using those years ago because they are damaging our planet. I can't stand seeing people who say they care about the environment using them. I recommend buying 3 or 4 canvas bags at the store and using them every time you go shopping. I advise keeping them in the car or near your front door so that you remember to take them when you go to the store. By making small changes, I think we can make a big difference to our world. Thank you, Bagging Betty. So this is the letter from Betty to the editor here. Can you circle, can you notice here some gerunds? If you remember the gerunds, the INGs. So can you tell me some gerunds here? Okay, let's look at them together. The first one here is, that's correct. I love living, ING, which came after the verb love, and protecting, interested in protecting, excellent. Next one, shopping, very good. Using, excellent. I quit using, so using here is a gerund acting as a noun after the verb quit. Next is buying, recommend buying. Next is using. Also here is shopping. What else? Keeping and making. So all of these are the gerunds in this article. So if you have circled them correctly, then you are correct. So exercise D here, write the verbs in the correct column of the chart. So you notice the chart here. We have 3 columns here. The first column can only be followed by a gerund. Can only be followed by a gerund. The second column here can be followed by either a gerund or an infinitive. If you remember, the infinitive is to plus the main verb. Can be followed by either gerund or an infinitive. Can only be followed by an infinitive. So either it can be followed by a gerund or an infinitive or both of them. And the infinitive is the to plus the base form of the verb. And we have these verbs here: agree, continue, hate, love, prefer, start, can't stand, decide, imagine, offer, promise, suggest, consider, which is the first one already done here, the verb consider, finish, keep, plan, recommend, and want. So again, write the verbs in the correct column of the chart. So some of these verbs can be followed by a gerund, some of them can be followed by an infinitive, and some can take both. So let's start with the can only be followed by a gerund. The first one is consider. Can you tell me some more here? Okay, let's look at them together. Finish, very good. What else? Let's see here. Also imagine, excellent. Also here is keep, very good. What else? Recommend and suggest. So can be only be followed by a gerund. Can be only be followed by a gerund. Consider, finish, imagine, keep, recommend, and suggest. The second column can be followed by either a gerund or infinitive. So it can be followed by both. What are the verbs here that can be followed by both, either a gerund or an infinitive? Can you tell me the first one? Let's see it together here. can't stand. Very good. The other one is continue. Excellent. The next one is hate. What else? Love. Hate and love can take both gerund and infinitive. What else here? Prefer. Also start. So can't stand, continue, hate, love, prefer, and start. So these are the verbs that can take both the gerund and the infinitive. Can only be followed by an infinitive, just the infinitive, such as agree, very good, decide, offer, plan, promise, and want. So the rest of the verbs, agree, decide, offer, plan, promise, and want, can only be followed by an infinitive. Excellent, you did great. The next exercise here, E, page 89, write the verb in either its gerund or infinitive form. So you get the verb between the brackets, write it in the form of the gerund or the infinitive. The first one, Jason decided, and the verb is ride here. So you say to ride his bike as much as possible. So the first one, the Smiths are considering get solar panels. Always notice the verb before considering here. So what's the answer? Very good. Getting. Considering getting. Number two, we quit water our yard during the summer. So the verb quit and water. So what's the answer here? Very good. Watering. So quit. What comes after quit is a gerund. Muhammad is planning get a hybrid car next year. Planning and get. So the verb planning. What's the correct answer here? Let's see the answer together. To get. It's an infinitive here. I advise separate your paper and glass recycling. Again, I advise separate your paper and glass recycling. So what's the correct answer here? Yes, I advise separating. I advise separating. Number five, the government wants us conserve energy. The government wants, so the verb is want here, wants us. Yes, to conserve. Want comes with the infinitive. Number six, I expect have a low energy bills this month. So the verb here is expect. What comes after expect? Is it a gerund or an infinitive? Yes, it's an infinitive. I expect to have. Sarah just finished insulate her hot water heater. Again, Sarah just finished insulate her hot water heater. So the verb here is insulate. So what do we put here? Is it insulating or to insulate? It's insulating. Number eight, we agreed eat only locally grown vegetables this summer. So agreed to eat or eating. Is it a gerund or an infinitive? So the answer is to eat. We agreed to eat. So exercise F here. Look at the pictures. Write 3 sentences that you think each person would say. Be sure to use a verb followed by a gerund or an infinitive. So what do you think from the picture each person would say? You see in the picture here, Ahmed, he's carrying a box full of fresh vegetables. So the first one is already done. I love growing my own vegetables. I love growing my own vegetables. So what do you think the other sentences would be? And remember, be sure to use a verb followed by either a gerund or an infinitive. The first one is already done here. I love growing my own vegetables. I love growing. This is the gerund here. So what about the second sentence? What about the second sentence? Can you tell me the other sentence? Try to come up. Very good, but I wrote here, I recommend eating fruits and vegetables every day. This is my sentence. You can put any other sentence that you want. I recommend eating fruits and vegetables every day. The third sentence, I hate eating old vegetables from the supermarket. I hate eating old vegetables from the supermarket. So he loves his vegetables fresh. So this is what Ahmed would say. We used in each of these, we used the gerund, of course. I love growing. I recommend eating. I hate eating. Number 2, Khalid. From the picture here, you can see that he loves to recycle. He's carrying a trash bin or a trash can here with the recycling logo here. He's trying to recycle some maybe old empty bottles, of course. So what do you think Khalid would say? Come up with some sentences that Khalid would say using the gerund or the infinitive. So A, I attempt to recycle everything possible. I attempt to recycle. So B, number 2, try to come up with another sentence. I recommend getting 2 recycle bins. I recommend getting 2 recycle bins, so you can recycle as much as possible. So try to come up with a third sentence here. Try to come up with a third sentence. Let's see here together. I like knowing that I'm helping the earth. I like knowing, gerund here. I recommend getting, also a gerund. I attempt to recycle. This is an infinitive. Number 3, Abdullah. You can see that he's riding his bicycle here. So what do you think, Abdullah, who loves nature here, what do you think that he would say? Try to come up with your own sentences. For example, the first one I wrote, I started biking to work so that we don't pollute the environment. So there's a reason why he's using his bicycle to not pollute the environment. What about the other example? Let's see here together. I hate paying for parking in the city. Of course, this is using the car. I hate paying for parking in the city. The third one, I even prefer to bike to work on rainy days. So even in rainy days, he prefers to bike. This is the infinitive here. Exercise G, write a sentence using each verb followed by a gerund or an infinitive. If the verb can only be followed by either a gerund or infinitive, then write only one sentence. If the verb can be followed by both gerund and infinitive, then write 2 sentences. So the verb here is hate. Try to come up with 2 sentences. I hate using a lot of water. I hate to use a lot of water. So hate can be followed with either an infinitive or a gerund. We all know that. So let's continue with the verbs. Begin. Begin. If it can be followed with both of them, come up with 2 sentences. If it can be followed with either of them, just one of them, just write the one sentence. So the verb here, begin. Let's check the answer together. The farmer began using organic methods. The farmer began to use organic methods. So begin is a verb that can be followed by either the infinitive or the gerund. What about the verb decide? What about the verb decide? Does it take both of them or just one of them? Okay, let's see the answer here together. You can come up with any sentence that you want. These are my examples here. We decided to get solar panels. So decide can come after, can come before only the infinitive. We decided to get solar panels. What about the verb prefer? What about the verb prefer? What follows prefer? Is it a gerund or infinitive? Let's check the answer here together. I prefer to eat organic food. So it's an infinitive. I prefer to eat organic food. Number 4, the verb expect. Expect. Let's check the answer here together. We expect to see her soon. So it's an infinitive. We expect to see her soon. And the verb quit, we just took it. The verb quit. He quit smoking. He quit smoking. So quit can only be followed by a gerund. So these are today's objectives: to identify the meaning of new words. This is the vocabulary building here. You will see these words in the reading on pages 22 and 23. Match the words with their meanings. We have relying, utility, bold, committed, perspective, harsh, enormous, and sacrifice. So you'll see all of these words in the reading lesson, the next lesson on page 22 and 23. And these are the contexts that you will be seeing them. Relying, imagine heating your home without relying on the local power plant. The word here, utility. What are two alternatives to using a public water utility? So these are the words in context in the next lesson, the reading lesson. Number 3, bold. These people have made the bold decision to live off the grid. Number 4, committed. Those most committed to living off the grid may even lack garbage service. Number 5, perspective. It puts everything in life into perspective. Number 6, harsh. Many people think we have a harsh and depressing lifestyle. Enormous, number 7. Number 8, sacrifice. Living off the grid entails sacrifices and is certainly not for everyone. So these are the words in this exercise. Now let's match them with their meanings. Let's match each word here with its correct meaning. Number 1, relying. Number 1 is relying. You can see the meanings here. Some of them: A, loss of something for a specific purpose. B, extremely large. C, dedicated. D, basic service supplied by a business or facility such as electricity or running water. E, depending on. F, strong and courageous. G, a way of seeing something. H, severe or difficult. So number 1, relying. What does relying mean? Which letter here means relying? To rely on someone. Yes, it's the letter E, depending on. So to rely on someone or something is to depend on them. Number 2, utility. Utility. So what's the answer here? What does utility mean? What is a utility? Okay, let's check the answer here. It's the letter D. It's a service supplied by a business or a facility, such as electricity or running water. So it's a service supplied by someone. This is a utility. Number 3, bold. Bold. When you say someone is bold, this is an adjective here. Bold. So yes, it's the letter F, strong and courageous. When you say someone is bold, it means that he is strong and courageous, that he has the courage to do something. Number 4, committed. Committed. To commit to something. What does it mean to be committed to something? Let's check the answer here together. It's number C, dedicated. When you are dedicated to something, it means that you are committed to do this thing. Number 5, perspective. Perspective, it means, yes, it's the letter G, a way of seeing someone or something. So perspective, it's a way of seeing something. It's your own point of view, the way you see things. This is your own perspective. Number 6, harsh. Harsh means that's correct H. Severe and difficult. So harsh means difficult. Enormous. When you say enormous, what does enormous mean? Enormous. I think from the gestures of my hand you can know the word enormous. What does it mean? Yes, that's correct. It's the letter B, extremely large. So when you say something is enormous, it means that it's extremely large. And the last one, sacrifice, is a loss of something for a specific purpose. When you lose something for a specific purpose, this is sacrifice. And with that, we end our lesson here. Thank you for listening. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.